All right. Welcome, welcome. I want to talk about a few things. I'm looking at, we have Canada, Alberta. We have two Canadians. I'm here from San Diego. But, I love to ask this question, where are you from? And people are like, I'm from Canada. I'm from San Diego. I'm from Arkansas. Are you? Is that where you're from? Where are you really from? We all are from the same place. If you think about it, right? Like, before you were from Canada, where were you from? Before you were from San Diego, where were you from? Where did we come from? We all came from the same place, and we're all going back to the same place. Isn't that interesting? I follow Ram Dass. I love his teachings. I love his work. And he said, we're all just walking each other home. So, how's the journey for you? How is your path? How are you feeling? Who's doing life with you? Are you grateful for them? We're going to talk a lot about these things, but the number one thing I want you to take out of this discussion is purpose, is calling, is feeling as though you are on your path. I've been doing coaching for almost 3 decades. It's been a long time. I've been in healthcare for 3 decades. And one of the things I have found in all these years is when people feel as though they're on purpose, they're on their path, or where they're meant to be, there's this fire in their belly, there's this spark that lights up. And what I've also found is that we often fall off that path. We drift off, and that's okay. That's part of the journey, it's part of the learning. And so for today, we're just going to get a little curious because most likely you're here because maybe you feel like you've drifted off. The thing that you loved, you just don't love anymore. The spark, the passion, the excitement that used to just fire you up, you just can't find it. Where did it go? Am I really on my path? Am I really where I'm supposed to be? Well, let me give you an analogy and an assurance. The assurance is yes. Yes. First of all, I just had this come into my mind this morning. I think nowadays we trust Amazon more than we trust God. It's like, I know Amazon's going to deliver, but God, I don't know. So, and you can replace the word God with source, upper management, 4D, whatever it is. But how many of us are trusting Amazon more than we're trusting ourselves? And why do I say ourselves? Because you are a fraction, you are a fractal of God. Everybody on this planet has a spark of God energy in them. What makes us different is what we're doing with that spark. And so, what I want to do today is get you back tethered, connected to your spark. Maybe your spark went out, maybe you burned out. It happens, right? And so let's find that spark. My son, I have a 8-year-old, and we love playing this game. He loves playing it. It's fun. It's find the favorite object, right? So he will hide his favorite toy in the house, and then he'll say, "Go find it." And I'll walk all over the house, and he'll say, "Cold, cold, warmer." And I think sometimes we need to do the same thing when we have burned out, when we've lost that spark. We have to play the hot and cold game with ourselves and say, all right, this isn't turning me on anymore. Too often, we force ourselves to stay somewhere because we should on ourselves, right? Well, I should stay here. I went to school for this. I should stay here because my friends, my family, this is my identity. This is who I am. Is it? Do you have to stay? Is that the truth? Now, maybe some of you came here because the subject heading, the title said, find your calling or get back on your mission. Okay. A calling is called a calling because it's a little tap on your shoulder. It's this nudge. It's this whisper that says, what if? It could also come in the sense of somebody else sees a greatness in you that you don't even see for yourself. And they see things like, you would be so good at this. And you get excited when they say that. And then you start to put out that fire and you say, no, not me, this old thing. These are your callings. And I will tell you, I opened this by saying we trust Amazon more than God or source, creator. Let's call it upper management. We often trust Amazon, and I want to see if you'd be open to reversing this now and having more faith and trust that you are being guided. I believe that you cannot miss your calling and you cannot miss your mission, but I do believe that you have a part to play in this, meaning you're going to be directed. And if you don't listen to the tap or the whisper, it's going to get louder. I have a saying, nobody gets off a comfortable couch. So if you're meant to move into another direction, to pivot, to shift, to take your gifts elsewhere, and you refuse to move, the universe, God, upper management will make your couch uncomfortable so that you get off it and you move. If you're finding that all these doors are closing, get curious. You're feeling a tapping, you're hearing a whisper. And so get curious without judging, without pushing it away. Start to get curious. Why am I so interested? So you want to find your calling? Here it is. It's what's your purpose? What's your passion? What are you interested in at this moment? That's it. It's that simple. What are you fired up about? What are you Googling? What are you YouTubing? What are you listening to and consuming? That's the hot and cold game. You're getting hotter. But East, I went to school for being a lawyer, Chinese medicine. All right. Okay. I understand. That's part of your quilt. That doesn't mean that that is it. Think outside the box, get curious. Many people have gone to school for law, medicine, to go on and do other things. The gentleman that started Pandora originally was a rock musician, and he found that all these doors were closing. He was trying to make it as a rock musician, doors were closing, and he was guided towards technology and sharing music with others. He still stayed tethered to his passion for music, and he took his gifts in a different direction that panned out way more than he could ever imagine. Ever imagine. So if you're feeling the tap, follow it. That is a very proactive approach to getting yourself back on your path. Get curious about it. Years ago, and so maybe you're taking notes, or maybe you're just taking mental notes. What are you really curious about? What are you really interested in at this time? That may be the direction you need to go in. Follow it with all your heart. What do people tell you you'd be really good at? What is it? What are people like on repeat? And you're like, no, no. It's interesting that with certain people, let's say that somebody told us we heard about a book. Okay. The new big book right now is Let Them by Mel Robbins, right? So you hear it once, you hear it twice, you hear it three times, and you're like, wow, I think I'm meant to read that book. Why don't we do that with our callings or our purpose? We have independently different people tell us we'd be good at something. It gets us excited, but then we tell ourselves, no, not me. I couldn't possibly. But what if you could? Years and years ago, like 3 decades ago, I used to take fitness classes back in the 80s when it was like step aerobics and high low and those little G-string onesies and the tights. Oh yeah, I was rocking those babies. And my friends in class would say to me, East, you should be a teacher. And I'm like, have you watched me? I'm not good. East, you should be a teacher. You'd be great. You're so motivational. I'm like, I am because I don't feel that way. I can't keep a beat. But after 3 or 4 people told me this, I got curious. Could I? I could get a free membership. Well, that's all I needed to hear. A free membership? Let's go. So I went and I got certified and I went through the phases. Was I good in the beginning? No. But I was enthusiastic. I made up with it. I made up for my newness through my enthusiasm. I was so enthusiastic. People like put up with my missteps and my inability to count 8 counts. And eventually I got better and better and better. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever done in my life. So where in your life are people telling you you'd be really good at that? And you're like, no, no, no. Get curious about it. What if you could? Then all you have to do is just continuously turn your dial to the possibility that, yes, that's possible for you. Secondly, I know that there is a desire on your heart. I know it. You wouldn't be here if there isn't. What if? What if? I believe this with every fiber of my being. You would not be given that desire if you weren't also given the ability to make it manifest, to have that dream, that desire come true. It's absolutely possible. 100%. You wouldn't have the desire if it didn't already exist on a certain timeline. We just need to get you on that timeline if that's what you truly want. So your job is to stay tethered to that. I know The Untethered Soul is a wonderful book. I love The Untethered Soul. But in this case, I want you to stay tethered. I want you to stay tethered to that dream and desire and to the belief that it is possible. Stay tethered to the trust and the faith that you'll be guided to the right people. You don't have to work out the how. That's where we stub our toe. But how's this going to happen, East? I've been teaching strategy and tactical ways to grow businesses and make money for 2 decades. And the one thing I've learned is that your success is 95, if not 98% your mindset, your beliefs, your energy, your frequency. And it's like 2% strategy. It doesn't matter if you have a website. It doesn't matter if you have a brochure. It doesn't matter if you have any of those things. You can sell, you can share your gifts and be paid for them, monetize on them without any of those things. These are lies that you tell yourself. It's that 98%. And so the easiest thing that you can do on a daily basis to affect positively that 98% of your mindset is gratitude. You start off your day with gratitude. So I want each and every one of you to think of one thing for which you're really grateful. Think of one thing that you're grateful. Many of you are here because you're in healthcare. So you must have passed some comprehensive exams to be here. You must have passed some licensing exams. You must have completed some very arduous studies, right? And so tap into that. You're a badass. Oh, but East. No, I'm not going to let you. Oh, but East. You have accomplished things. You can do it again and again and again. And that includes going after what you really want. How is this going to happen? That's not up to you. That's where you have faith in the upper management, the divine God, source, creator, 4D. You have more faith in that than Amazon, right? You order on Amazon and you're like, it's coming. It may be delayed. So what if you start to approach your desires the same way? You know it's coming. It may be delayed. If it's a big desire that you want, most likely it will be delayed a little longer. Delay isn't denial. Any delay in what you want. I've been going after dreams, several dreams over my life. Some take 3 minutes, 3 days, 3 years. The delay isn't denial. Any delay is preparation. That is all it is. The thing that you want, whether it's a new career, a new state in life, a physical thing, health, wellness, it's all available to you. It's coming to you. The how isn't up to you. It's just you staying tethered to that. So first we start every day. Now, Randy and I, we run a program called Elevate. It's a 50-day challenge where every day you start with gratitude. And people that have gone through this program they're already just telling us how amazing starting every day with gratitude. So that's one thing. You can start, gratitude will put you into that 98% of the success variable. And then the 2% is your strategy of how you do the other things. Okay. Leave the how to the universe. But let's recognize something. Think of every great story, right? We love a good movie, the underdog comes through, great stories. The main character either dies or changes, right? That's how you create a story, right? It's the hero's journey. Every main character, guess what? You're the main character. You are the main character. So you are going to change, right? You're going to go out on this journey. You're going to slay dragons and you're going to come back as a victor. Okay. So as you're doing that, this is you. You're on your hero's journey to find that next thing for yourself, to find that passion again, that spark, to have it reignite. How many times have you heard somebody's story where they'll say to you, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would be doing what I'm doing today, I would have said, no way. Not even close, right? Those are the best stories. That story is unfolding for you right now. And you're like, it is? If you got goosebumps, hell's yes, it is. You wouldn't be in this call or watching this recording if it wasn't your time. So this is your journey. This is your metamorphosis of like, I want you to think about 5 years from now. What are you going to create? You can create it right now and you can look back and you can be the one telling that story. If you would ask me 5 years ago that I was going to be coaching healthcare practitioners, I would have been like, you're nuts. Now, that leads me to a real story. So I've been in healthcare since 1999. I graduated and became a licensed acupuncturist in 99, went full into practice. And about 15 years into practice, got a little bit of burnout and started looking at following that my favorite item. I would drive into work and what I used to love didn't excite me anymore. In fact, I caught myself one day driving into work. Have you ever done this? Going, man, I wish my patients canceled today. I mean, I would love it if my patients canceled so I can go work on my book because I was writing a book at the time. And I pulled over and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, what is going on? Do your patients deserve that? Would you want to be my patient if I was secretly wished that you weren't coming today? Or would you rather me being like, oh, I can't wait to see them. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. I'm on the clock. I'm ready to rock. Like you'd rather me be like that versus like I'd rather be doing something else. I stopped. I went in. I fully treated all my patients that day, and then I wrote them the 30-day notice, and I allowed myself to go all in on writing my book. I could always go back to private practice. I could always go back to private practice. And I went all in on writing the book. I'm gonna leave you with I'm not leave you, but drop in here a saying. You cannot ride your what is it? You can't put your ass on two horses at the same time. Eventually you're gonna fall off. Okay. So at a certain point, you can ride two horses and then eventually get on one and you just go all in on it. So I did that. But then I had these things of like, well, how am I going to make money? All I've known is my private practice. All I know is day to day, one on one. Well, this is where that trust and faith in the universe comes in. Around the same time, what was happening simultaneously, and not even in my awareness, a lot of people were calling me to pick my brain. I had been in practice, I was a professor. And so I was a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience. And people would call me and I would just give like graciously and gladly with my heart, give them advice on how to grow their business. And, and so I was doing this for free. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And one day, this is how the universe works. One day, after a very long exchange with a student of mine about helping him grow his practice, this went on for weeks, emails, phone calls. He said, gosh, East, you are so good at this. You should charge for it. And I thought to myself, you know what, dude? After you, I am. I was just like, I just was so exhausted. So then I thought, well, what would that even look like? I don't even know what coaching looks like. I had never hired a business coach. I didn't even know what that was like, but I just knew that I was a little bit tired of people picking my brain. And I thought, could I? So I looked around and I saw this was a thing. This was 15, 20 years ago. People actually charge for this advice. Okay. So I thought, well, let's just try it out. I went to my free Weebly website and I put a little button on there that said practice coaching $150. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Within a week, ding, 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 people were buying it. People were calling me, hey, East, can I take you to lunch and pick your brain? I want to ask you about the practice. I said, I would love that. Go to my website. I have a button there. Go ahead and click a session and I'd love to sit down with you. So that's my story of if you would have asked me if I was going to be a business coach for healthcare practitioners, I would have said, you're crazy. I went to school for Chinese medicine. I'm an acupuncturist. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine. I'm an herbalist. I'm a specialist of fertility and anti-aging. You're crazy. I'm not going to be a business coach. And then the universe was like, oh, yes, you will. Oh, au contraire. Right? So I followed those gentle nudges. I went after that and I went deeper and deeper and into the exploration of could this be a business? And it has been in a beautiful, amazing, gratifying business for me for almost two decades, almost 20 years I've been coaching. I have literally coached, mentored thousands of healthcare practitioners, and it has been so rewarding, but I didn't seek it out. That wasn't, I just followed the breadcrumbs. I followed the passion. I enjoyed it. It almost felt criminal to charge for it. That's when you know you're on your calling. You know you found your calling, you're on your mission when you almost feel bad charging for it. So what is that for you? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. You are here for a reason. And I'd love to ask you what that reason is. And so this portion of the video will be recorded and shared. None of your faces have been on here. And so type into the chat if there's anything that you would like me to discuss and be recorded. And then I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to workshop. Randy and I workshop with our clients and our students every week, every Monday. Monday is mindset, manifestation, miracles, money. It's fun every Monday. And so I'd love to use this time for the people that are here live to do some workshopping with you. Randy and I also offer VIP days for people that want to work on their business. We have all the things. Randy, will you do me a favor? If anybody is curious and wants to just talk to you about how to work with us, put your Calendly in the chat. Why are we here? Number one, Randy and I, we have a commitment to raising the frequency on the planet. That's our commitment. We're committed. One starfish at a time. If you've ever seen that little story, in fact, I will include the story of the starfish with this recording. The starfish story goes, there's a little boy on the beach, he has a bucket, and there's thousands, tens of thousands of starfish that are all washed up on the beach, and he is picking up one starfish at a time and throwing it back in the ocean. This old man walks up and goes, "What are you doing?" And the little boy says, "I'm throwing these starfish back into the ocean." And the old man says, "Look at this. What kind of difference can you make?" And the little boy goes, "I'm making a big difference for this starfish." Right? And so when we raise the frequency of one soul, it is the butterfly effect, it's the ripple effect, it affects the entire cosmos. Absolutely. That soul is you, and that's the work. If you want your life to be better, it starts with you. You work on your energy. Your energy is contagious, and what you put out, you attract back. So when we're grateful, I'm so grateful for my home. And we don't add but. We don't say, I'm grateful for my home, but it's so small. Because upper management just hears small home and goes, here's more of that. Here's more of that. So if you say, I'm so grateful for my home, it's so cozy. I love it. I love this home. I love my friends. I love my fur babies. Then the universe goes, here's more of that. Here's more to love, more to be grateful for. So the second thing that we work on in our Elevate program is your language, because you are casting a spell on yourself every day. We really look at language and we up level our language. You raise the frequency of your you can raise the frequency, the energy, your energy, just with your language alone and your posturing, your exercise. Did you guys move today? You guys moving your body? You moving your energy? This is your car. This earth suit is your car. Your soul, your divine spark is within this. So by exercising your body, you get to move the things that you're collecting that don't serve you, the little stagnations, the toxification, you move it. And by strength training your body every day, you become a stronger vessel to hold higher frequencies that will attract more high frequency things and experiences into your life. That's what yoga is. Yoga is not exercise. It's not so Lululemon can be rich. It's so that your body is strong enough to hold a higher frequency. That's all it is. That's what yoga does. And so in our Elevate program, in the 50-day challenge, you exercise every day. For 50 days, all we ask is that you try this for 50 days. That's it. Commit to yourself. You deserve it. For 50 days, you exercise, you go outside, you commune with nature, you express gratitude, You express gratitude to somebody else. How would it feel if you were to and I would love to challenge anybody watching this video live or recorded. Just reach out to somebody and just tell them why you're grateful for them. Just do it today. What if you did that 50 days? Imagine what that'd be like. That would be, could you imagine receiving one of those emails? Somebody saying, "Hey, I just want to thank you for dropping my kid off last Saturday. That really helped me out. I was really in a bind, and I just want you to know, like, I've always felt like I can count on you. You make a big difference in my life." Wouldn't that be feel good to give? When we express gratitude to somebody else, the receiver gets high frequency, but so do you. What's interesting is my husband and I, we've been married almost 10 years. For our ninth year anniversary, it's leather. That's the theme. So I bought a vegan leather journal and I said, okay, every day until this journal is filled, each of us is going to write up to three things that we're grateful for the other one. So I would sit down and I would write January 1st. Well, our anniversary is in May. So May 23rd. And I would write, "I'm so grateful that you put up with me. I'm so grateful." I would list out things and then he would write in the journal. And it was really cute because we'd get up in the morning and I'd see he's writing in the journal. And you might think to yourself, oh, did you just sit there and read all the things he wrote about you? You want to know something? No, that's not where the magic is. The magic for me was me writing down all the things I'm grateful for him because I was overlooking them. I was taking it for granted. That's where the magic came because whatever you focus on expands. So just the exercise of me being more grateful for him. I literally have not read all the things he wrote about me because that, for me, the magic was instead of being upset that he's not doing XYZ, I was so grateful for the things he was doing. And it was powerful for our marriage. It was powerful for our relationship. It's a powerful practice. And so that's one of the things we do in the Elevate. What I want to leave you with is this. This is the year 2025. If you're watching this in the future, 2026, 2028, doesn't matter when you watch this. But if you think back on your life, there's usually something for each year, right? Like 2016 is when I had my first child. 2018, I had my second child, right? What's 2025? Whatever year it is today, what's going to mark this year for you? You get to create whatever you want. If you feel like it's not possible, then it's up to you. Your work is to stay tethered to the possibility, to raise your frequency. You wake up feeling doubtful, move your body, start some gratitude, get yourself into a state of a higher energy, a higher frequency, and stay tethered to the belief. Instead of going on social media and looking what everybody else has and feeling even worse about yourself, what I do is I have a certain playlist for different areas of my life. I have a playlist that's on my notes. It's like if I'm having a hard, challenging love day, right? Like, oh, marriage. I have a notes list that's my marriage reels. And I watch those. Okay, I'm back in the energy of marriage is awesome. Or let's say I'm having a tough financial month, or I'm not hitting my financial goals, or a tough money day. Okay. I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to my playlist on my notes and I watch a bunch of reels about money. And it's like, yes, I'm back in it. What we often do is we go for the junk food, don't we? We're like, oh, poor me. I'm going to watch a bunch of reels and I'm going to get even worse. You choose what you put into this earth suit, into your brain, into your beliefs, and that goes for your food as well. So in the Elevate program for 50 days, we just ask that you follow a healthy nutrition plan. Many people pick one thing that they've been wanting to challenge themselves and they go for it. So like one person did a gluten-free for 50 days to see what it feels like. Many people just quit alcohol for 50 days. We don't realize what alcohol does. It's just so insidious. It's so common. Just cleaning your head of any intoxicant for 50 days. Wow. It's like, wow, there I am. Wow, there I am. I forgot what you were like. And then the last thing is connecting with upper management. All right. That is so important. I just gave you the Elevate program. You can do those 7 things every day, and you will guaranteed raise your frequency, raise your energy, and have a totally different, elevated experience of life. And your calling will come to you naturally. Your purpose, your passion, that spark inside of you will come naturally. But what I find is too often we go elsewhere. We go external for our answers. We go to psychics. We go to people that love us, but those people are projecting onto us. What do you really want? The only way you're going to know what you really want is to sit with yourself, with nobody else. So you sit, you meditate. You meditate for 10 minutes a day for 50 days. You'll be amazed at what kind of relationship you'll have with yourself. That's where everything stems from. It's you working on you. And so we're not here to work on anybody else. We're not doing this work to go, oh, wow, look how great. My thoughts are really clean and my language is really clean. And then I'm not out there to go and tell everybody else that they need to clean up their thoughts and their language. No, that's not it. I stay on myself. In fact, when I catch myself wanting to tell other people that they're wrong or they're this or they're that, I'm like, ooh, there I go again, right? Because our egos are so distracted and don't want to do the work on ourselves. But I tell you, you do the work, even just 50 days, the results are incredible. You work on yourself, everything externally falls into place naturally. Can you honestly say you love yourself? Let's get you there. Raise your frequency. And here's the thing that we talk about in Elevate, and I want to share with you. It's called it's neutrality, no judgment. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing to fix. That's why we call it Elevate. We're not calling this the Fix It Upper program, right? We're calling it Elevate. You're awesome the way you are. What would the next level, if we were playing a video game, what's on the next level? I remember in the 80s, I used to play Miss Pac-Man, right? And I remember the first time I got to like level 3 and I was like, whoa, look at this level. This is crazy, right? That's life. You raise your frequency, you do some work on yourself, and you get to go to the next level and you look around and you're like, holy cow, I had no idea this even existed. It starts with you. It starts with you. So, can you give some examples of money mindset? Yep. Whatever you believe to be true is true. I could never make that much money. You're right. I could totally make that much money. You're right. It's the belief. So I'll give you something that you can do with money mindset. I want you to imagine that you have $1 million. No, I'm going to give you $1 million right now, tax free. It's your money. You have $1 million. Okay. Are you still going to do what you're doing for a living? Are you going to move? Are you going to change your office? Like you have $1 million. $1 million will grant you freedom. You see, the money isn't what you want because money doesn't look good as clothing. It's you want the freedom, right? It's what the money can buy. So with the money mindset, first of all, I love this example, and I'm speaking in 2 weeks, and I always take people through this example when I speak on this topic. And I say, okay, I gave you $1 million, and I ask them a series of questions like, would you still do what you do for a living? Who would you give money to? What would you buy? Okay, now I'm going to give you $5 million. What would you do? Same kind of questions. When I sat down and asked myself, I revealed that I was chasing money. When you chase money for the sake of money, it's not sustainable. When you are chasing impact, when you're like, no, like when I gave you that example, I started coaching people and I loved it. I almost felt bad charging because I just loved it so much. Then that's when you know you're on. So when you say, if all my bills were paid for 5 years, would I keep doing what I'm doing? That's what COVID was such a blessing because a lot of people couldn't do what they wanted to do. So you really got to know, like, am I dying to go back to what I was doing before, or am I like secretly happy? So many people, I remember my hairstylist told me this, who makes almost $500,000 a year. I tell you that because you're like, no, she doesn't. Yes, she does. I use her example all the time. She was so she was so bummed about COVID that she was cutting people's hair in the back. She blacked out all of her windows and cut hair like, under the radar during COVID because she missed cutting hair that bad. That's when you know you're onto something. But seven of her stylists never came back after COVID because they realized they hated cutting hair. So you get to ask yourself that as well. Like, if all my bills were paid for, what would I pursue? What would I do? Get curious. Go after that now. Don't worry about the how. Well, how am I going to leave this and go to this? It's going to happen naturally. That's where you have to have the faith in it. I find I have the desire, but get frustrated at the delay. Yep. That's the thing. It's staying consistent. It's I watch all the Rocky movies and he just keeps getting up. Like he will not stay down. You have to just keep getting up. You have to be like, yep. It's saying, regardless of my external circumstances, I'm going to act as if that end result of my money is here. So if you had all the money you wanted, think about how much money you want. I would love to make $50,000 a month. I would love to make 80,000, 20, whatever it is. Think about it. Okay. If you were consistently making that much money every month, how would you feel? How would you feel? How would you, like, this is where the magic is with mindset. You have to feel it first. You don't get what you want. The universe, your higher self, you're co-creating with God. You and God don't give you what you want. You and God give you what you are. The energy, the vibration that you are in is a magnet for that, right? So if you can sit and say, well, I'm going to act as if I'm making $50,000 a month and these are the decisions I would make. And this is how I'd go about my day and this is how I would dress and this is how I would feel. And you feel that's where it is. You have to feel as though you're that person now. That's identity. That's week 5, 3, 3. That's week 3 of Elevate. We spend an entire week in identity. What identity are you tethered to? So maybe your mindset is that you could never make a certain amount of money. Then you're that's what's going to happen. The other thing is too, we get very curious in week 1 under awareness and expansion is week 5 or 6 to become aware of our beliefs around money. Many people have subconscious beliefs that they're not even conscious of. Like, if I get rich, I'm going to be an asshole. Or if I get rich, I'll be too busy to spend time with my family. And so if you think of Gary Zukav's book, Seat of the Soul, if you have two desires that conflict, you end up not anywhere. Like, I want to get pregnant, but I don't want to gain any weight. It's like, okay, you're not going to get pregnant that way. So it's understanding that there may be some subconscious money blocks in there around your beliefs of money. Do you shame other people that spend like money crazy? Like, I heard the story the other day. One of my mentors was telling a story that she was at Chanel. She was buying another $10,000 Chanel purse. Do you see my judgment on that? I need to cancel, clear, delete that. Anyway, she was telling the story that there was a lady there with her 6-year-old buying her 6-year-old a $4,000 Chanel purse. Anybody getting some judgment around that? I know I am. And that's what we got to clean up. Because if we have that judgment, it's not going to come to us. So instead, we get to replace it with like, I would love to experience that. Anytime we start to hear ourselves saying like, oh, that's not possible, we replace it with like, I would love that. I would love to feel what that feels like to buy my 6-year-old a $4,000 Chanel purse and not even flinch. I would love to go first class everywhere I go. And that, my friends, is how we continuously turn our mindset to the positive. Too often, we are tethered to the not so positive, to the thoughts, the beliefs that don't serve us. That's also part of the strengthening. I have been teaching fitness for 3 decades, since 98. So it's not quite 3 decades yet. But since 1998, I've been teaching fitness. I told you the story, how that started out. I love it. I taught fitness this morning. When people strengthen their physical body, their mental, emotional bodies follow. I've seen it. Your confidence gets better, everything. You feel like a badass because your body is getting stronger. So that you work on both together. So mindset right there, money mindset, strengthen your physical body, your mental, emotional body, continuously strengthen your ability to focus your mind where you want to focus it. Too many of us are subconsciously allowing our minds to drift into the negative. Oh, it can never happen to me. It's not happening. It's not coming. Nope, that's not true. It's on its way. And I have faith. I just ordered on Amazon. I told Amazon exactly what I wanted. I know it's coming. Maybe it got delivered somewhere else. It's coming. Amazon will track it down. Stop trusting Amazon more than the creator. The creator wants to give you everything. I would go as far as saying, like, we're blocking it. We are. I'm saying we, I'm in this too. Creator wants to give us everything. There's abundance everywhere, and we're blocking it. We're saying no, or we wake up and we have this idea. Oh, you ought to start a business on whatever, start a product business. And then you're like, that's kind of exciting. No. And then you go to your friend and you're like, I woke up this morning with this idea to start a product business. And your friend goes, oh, girlfriend, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Do you know how much money you need to start a product business? Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was God. That was the creator trying to get you what you want. And you're like blocking it. I'm going to share something with you with this recording. I've shared it before. I love this meditation. It's a guided meditation. It is a 15-minute guided meditation. I'll make myself a note. And it's receive unexpected money in 48 hours or less. Okay. So I did this meditation years ago and I've shared it with so many people. I get tons of emails of people saying, it works, it works. Okay. So you sit and it's this beautiful guided meditation around money and it's to manifest unexpected money in 48 hours or less. So I did the meditation and I forgot about it. The next day I woke up and I had an email from a group that I had done some work for just out of the kindness of my heart. I met these people. I thought they were sweet and I wanted to help them out. So I did some work for them. Never expected to get paid. I just, out of the sweetness of my heart, I got an email from them and they're like, hey, East, we just appreciated you so much. We want to send you a check for $2,000. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't want you to think I did that to get paid. So I started writing an email to them like, no, I don't want you to think I wanted to get paid. I did that to, and I go, oh, I caught myself. I was like, what am I doing? So I had delete, 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 delete. And I wrote, thank you so much. Here's my address. Right? Okay, that was the 2000. That night, my father came over to eat. He comes over for Taco Tuesday. And my father, as he's gotten older, my brother and I call him T-Rex. His hands don't go into his wallet. They just stay right here. So we're like, he's a little frugal, right? And so my dad's over and we were telling him we're going to go to Disneyland. And I see him reach for his wallet. And I'm like, what is he doing? And he starts thumbing through his 20s and he's like, you know what? I'm going to pay for your Disneyland trip. And I'm like, Dad, Disneyland for four people is like $1,000 for a day. He's like, no, it's not. I said, yeah, it is. It's okay. Thank you so much. So then he pulls out his checkbook and he goes, all right, I'm going to write you a check for $1,000. And my husband goes, Dan, no. And I looked at my husband and I said, stop it. I said, Dad, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. And both my husband and I are like, what just happened? My point here is that we often block it. How many times have somebody wanted to give you something and you're like, you're feeling bad. And you're like, no, let me pay you for it. No, I'll pay half. Or we're blocking that abundance. So I'm not saying it's easy. Somebody had asked, like, how do I change my mindset around money? I get frustrated. I'm not saying it's easy, but slow, steady progress over time, the more consistent you are on turning your language, turning your attention, turning your focus on positive beliefs that serve you, the more you do it, it's inevitable. Your success is inevitable. Too many people give up before the bus shows up. That's the thing. They give up in the delay. They're like, screw it. And then they go over to something else. But I'll tell you this, do not worry about it. You all came here with a mission. You all came here. We're all here with a mission on this. You will fulfill your mission. You will fulfill your calling. It will come to you. How fast or slow is really up to you. Um, I want to take you to Disneyland. There's a ride called Autopia. Okay. And it's these little cars, and you put your foot on the gas and they go, and you can stop. All you can do is put your foot on the gas or take your foot off. That's it. You can steer to the right, you can steer to the left, but you're on a track. So you're not free to go all over. Now, if you don't put your foot on the gas, the person behind you is going to ram into you. Okay. So you can steer to the right, you can steer to the left, but if you go too far to the right or too far to the left, the track brings you back. It's called Autopia. Look it up. Maybe you've ridden it before. This is your life. You are on track. If you don't put your foot on the gas, upper management will come and hit you and rear end you to get you moving. Okay. If you steer too far to the right, you will be corrected and brought back. If you steer too far to the left, you will be corrected. You will fulfill your mission. That's a good story. That is. You have a choice. You can act on what you feel like acting on now. What is that gas? What's the analogy of the gas pedal? Like I would just say, regardless of where you are, keep your foot on the gas, keep moving, keep trying different things. If you're not feeling fired up about things in your life, don't say, I've tried everything, because that is just not true. You have not tried everything, because everything is unlimited. You keep trying until you find it. You keep trying until you feel that like excitement. I have another saying called fantasy passions. Too many people have fantasy passions. One day I'm going to write a book and I'm going to make millions of dollars and speak on stages. Really? Are you? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know you're even going to like writing a book? Have you ever written a book? Why don't you write a book first and see if you like it? It hurts. It's like childbirth. I've written a few books. I'm in the middle of writing another one. It hurts. So when I work with clients, I usually say, let's get some contrast here. Let's see if you really do love that thing. You think you love it. The only way you're going to know if you love something is by doing it. And the sooner you can check it off as I do love it or I don't love it, the faster you will get on your track. The faster you'll get on your mission. Think about mission possible, mission impossible. Okay. What happens? He gets a note and it says, go to 45th and Jefferson, and there'll be a phone there, and listen to it and then follow your orders. So you do. You go there and you listen to it. Then it says, go to the Lincoln Memorial, and there'll be an envelope with your next instructions. You're like, okay, I believe that's how life works. You go to the next stop and you await your orders. But if you don't move, someone's going to come and get you, or you're going to get rear-ended. So I'll leave you with this. Whatever year it is for you, 2025, 2026, 2030, I don't know, but what is going to mark this year for you? You have 12 months. There's so much you can accomplish in 12 months. And what if you stayed the course for 5 years? Oh my goodness. So much is possible. It's going to turn in it comes down to you, the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the way that you can make sure you are living your best life is by raising your frequency. So with that being said, I'm going to stop the recording. You'll get with this recording that manifest 48 hours of money unexpectedly. You'll get that. And you'll get any links of how to work with us. And it was our intention, even in just this short time together, that you go home with something, you take something with you to raise your frequency. Imagine if everybody on the planet started their days with gratitude. What if everybody on the planet worked on themselves and stopped working on us, right? What if instead of them trying to, work on you, fix you, there's nothing to fix. Everyone's like, no, I got to work on myself. Oh, let me take responsibility for that. That's my responsibility. It's not your fault. That was my choice, right? Like, what an amazing planet that would be like, but it starts with us doing the work on ourselves. All right, let me hit stop.